Welcome back to the Daily Mastermind. George Wright III with your daily dose of inspiration, motivation, and education. So today, let me start you out with the Daily Mastermind quote of the day. But before we do, if you have not already, like and subscribe this podcast so you don't miss any good content or interviews that we're doing. We're going to be there every day giving you that little extra you need. The whole goal of the Mastermind is to help you with that battle in your mind on a daily basis to be productive and create your best life, unleash your ultimate potential. So let's start with the quote of the day in the Daily Mastermind mobile app, and that is, you have to think big to be big. You have to think big to be big. In order to create your best life, you've got to think outside your current mindset. And so hopefully these ideas will stretch you. And that's a great segue into the topic today, because I want to talk to you today about worry and stress. Because, look, there's so many people right now in life, including myself. Look, all of us deal with stress and anxiety and worry. But one of the best go-to sources I've had for this is Dale Carnegie. In fact, he wrote a book called How to Stop Worrying and Start Living. And it's advice on how to cultivate a happier and more worry-free life. Even though it can seem pretty overwhelming, anxiety, worry, depression, they're all unnecessary. They're all self-inflicted, and they're all something that you can overcome. You just have to learn how to start living and stop worrying. And in order to effectively really work on this, it's important to understand what causes the worry and stress. Carnegie talks about it's the result of focusing outside of the present moment. In other words, we tend to overthink the past, and we have anxiety or regrets or things about the past, or we overthink the future and things that are going to be happening or things that might happen. So each morning, you've got to realize that you're granted a limited amount of time and energy to focus, to get things done and make the best of your day. And there's only so much that you can handle mentally and physically. But as Carnegie puts it in his book, worrying about the past or future creates additional burdens that use up all of your time and energy, and they distract you from focusing on what you need to do. So if you're not making progress in your life, it could be because of the distractions of the past or the future. So carrying that weight of the worry and all the overwhelm, it wears you out. It makes you have irrational thoughts, and the small things can tend to seem bigger than they really are. So the causes of worry might be small, but the overall effects on your health also are very big. You've probably realized this, or you've seen around you that over time, even small daily worries slowly deteriorate your mind and your body, your physical health. And you get these symptoms, right? Depression, anxiety, ulcers, headaches, insomnia. How many of us suffer from insomnia, from overthinking, right? Even diabetes, heart disease, all these things can be caused by worry and stress. So the solution, as Carnegie puts it, and I've found over my life, is to focus one day at a time. The most basic way to combat worry is to train yourself to shut the mind off completely from the worries of yesterday or tomorrow, and increasingly start focusing your attention and your energy on the present moment. This is all that you need to do in order to relieve the stress and anxiety that you have. When you worry about the past and the future, those stresses, and I realize that there are legitimate problems that you may be facing in the future, but focusing on things in the future won't help you to solve that. You're always going to be carrying 3 times the weight you need, and when you're carrying the weight of everything you're worrying about, you can't be as productive in the short term, in the present, and so you won't get the results. On the other hand, when you shut out the worries, even if they're legitimate, real things, if you can learn and train your mind to shut out the past or the future, it's going to give you the ability to focus your energy on the current moment, and you are much more likely to create results for your life. So the solution, the most foundational anti-worry tool, is to be thoughtful, or at least conscious of your thoughts. Because analyzing your thoughts, it neutralizes the emotions and breaks you free of these worrisome, episodes that you're going to have. It helps you to create more calm and centered thoughts. So let me give you a few strategies before we go here on just how to break that worry habit before it breaks you. Some of these key ones that I've taken from Dale Carnegie and others. One thing, and this is the thing that I can't emphasize enough, is stay so busy you don't have time to worry. I have found over and over again that the people that worry the most are not busy, because people that are busy don't have time to worry. You know, the mind is really bad at multitasking. That's why it's so hard to waste time and energy worrying if you're too busy to think about anything, if you're too busy executing on your plan. So the solution is, if you find yourself, worrying, try occupational therapy. Basically, take another job, get more busy, fill the day with meaningful tasks, keep your imagination working, lose yourself in work, lose yourself in family, get busy in service or supporting others, but stay busy and you won't have time to worry. That's the most important suggestion I can give you. Another one is, don't let problems get you down. And I know that's easier said than done, but it's more often a small problem than a big one that leads to arguments and problems that you have. So what I'm saying is, don't let the small problems get you down. Even though these small ones can be the easiest to let go, at times they can really get under your skin and keep you going. So the best way not to let small things worry you is remind yourself how much worry is wasted on the small things. And by reminding yourself of that, you'll take action. Also, compare your problems to a more serious problem. When you look at your problems and then you compare them to the problems around you, you can always find people or things or situations that have bigger problems. And also just resolve to be a bigger person. Remember, someone that's at like a level 3, a number 4 problem seems overwhelming. But someone that's a level 10, a level 4 problem seems like nothing. So to be that bigger person and to learn to grow into that better person, you can handle more problems. Remember, I've said this many, many times. Your goal is not to have less or smaller problems. It's to become bigger than your problems, because then you can handle them. Because you only will create the success in life you want by having more problems. Just get that down right now. Another suggestion I have is, don't stress about the problems that seem little when time is more important. Remember, life is short. It's too short to worry about little things. Work out, how unlikely things are going to be. So let me rephrase this. When we sometimes worry, we worry about the possibility of things. And we waste so much time worrying about things that probably aren't going to happen. In fact, 90% of the biggest, hardest, most difficult situations I've had in my life and you've had in your life have never even happened. They've never even happened, because most of the biggest problems we deal with in our life are only in our mind. And that is something you have to remind yourself about. So remember, it's unlikely these things are going to happen, but if they do, just take advantage of taking action. But don't worry about them if they haven't happened. Another thing I'm going to suggest is just accept things that can't be changed. There's no use fighting things that are inevitable. The good news is you can survive and adapt. You've already handled so many things in your life. You have to just remind yourself that you've overcome so much. And even if you think, which you'd be wrong, but even if you think you don't have a lot of big situations you've overcome in your life, just remind yourself of what you've done in your life. You've learned to walk, you've learned to talk, you've learned to grow, you've learned to talk and communicate with people. You are becoming a better version of yourself every single day, and you are not the version of yourself you used to be. So remember, worry is bad for your mental and physical health. You've got to address it. It's important to find ways to cope with anxiety and stress so you can live a happier, healthier life. And one way to do this is to keep yourself busy and stop worrying about the little things. Get out of the past and get out of worrying about the future. And remember that you are stronger than you think you are. You are stronger than you may feel in the given moment with problems. And I know that you can do it. I know you can handle it. And that's why the Daily Mastermind is here, to remind you of that and to give you a little bit of that extra energy, motivation, and inspiration to go to the next level. So I hope you have an amazing day today. Do me a favor, share this podcast, share it with somebody. If you got some value out of this, help us to share the message and grow the community. That's how we grow this podcast. So thank you for your time. I appreciate you listening. I look forward to talking with you more tomorrow. Have an amazing day.